a court case we have been waiting to go into. Does seem it's delayed, the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, which is expected to resume this hour with the cross-examination of the soccer star's friend Tumelo Madlala. On the line now, we have Mr. Chicco Twala, who is the father of Longwe Twala, and the allegations as have been alleged for some time, and that is that Longwe Twala may have been one of the people who possibly could have pulled the trigger here. Mr. Twala, let's go back to information that we are receiving, and that is that you went to the Khumalo home on Saturday. What was that visit for, if I'm correct?
Good morning, not Khumalo home, Meyiwa family.
Oh, right, yes, apologies.
Yes, yeah. Now, look, I have been communicating with Senzo Mom. It's not the first time. I did write a letter. I always, feel for the old lady, what she went through, what she was going through. Senzo was a breadwinner. You know, she lost someone that she loved dearly. And since, you know that my son was part of this thing and all that, and there are court proceedings going on, I communicated with her. Even now, going to her, it was not like I'm going to my enemy or what. No, I'm going to a parent. As a parent, I was visiting her, and we don't discuss the merits of the court, what's happening in the court, what. No, I don't talk about it, because I always told her that if it's my son who killed Senzo, I'll make the point that he says whether it's 2 life sentences, whatever it can be given. I will never actually convince anyone or buy anybody. But I gave them that undertaking that whatever happens in this case, if the mastermind is found, whether it's my son, she'll get my full support, even if my son is in jail. So the visit is not about what people are saying on social media. People always want to say whatever they want to say. I don't think I have a problem. I'll always visit her. Even next week I'm going.
Yeah.
I'll go even the other week. Even after the trial, when the perpetrator is found, I'll still go.
Yeah. Tell us more, Mr. Twala, about the well-being of Mrs. Meyiwa, that's Senzo's mother. I ask you this question because we know the suffering that Mr. Meyiwa, the father of Senzo Meyiwa, suffered up until the very end when he died. And some people say to this day that that man died of a broken heart. How is Mrs. Meyiwa doing?
She's not, to be honest, she needs support. She needs support from everyone, not only from me, from all South Africans. I think instead of maybe us criticizing one another on social media and all that, we should give the support. What happened yesterday, Goli won't come back. You know, we need to actually move forward as South Africans, giving one another support. And I think Senzo's mom needs that support. When I go to her house, on my arrival, you could tell that she's not okay. You know, she was crying. She cried profusely, when she saw me. And then, I calmed her down, me and her are not enemies. And she knows the truth. In fact, I'm of the view that she even knows who the mastermind is. But, she welcomes me with open hands. She knows that I'm not guilty. She knows that I'm not behind Senzo's death, So, but what I can say about her, she needs support from everyone, because at this point in time, I could tell that, she's not getting enough support from South Africans.
As I speak to you now, Mr. Twala, the court has resumed in Pretoria the very trial of the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. And you speak about Senzo's mother possibly knowing who the mastermind is. Yesterday, the cross-examination of Tumelo Madlala, who was the best friend of Senzo Meyiwa, denying that he actually wrote in the statement that it was in fact your son who had pulled the trigger and ran away. He says that, it was the first time that he had seen Longwe Twala that day, and he never said anything about Longwe carrying a gun. Instead, he ran away when the shots went off. What do you make of that testimony?
I wouldn't actually say much, Corey, because I wasn't there, to be honest with you. Because you know what, Longwe and Kelly, Tumelo, they actually the best people to tell us what happened. Because now, if we speculate and all that, we find that maybe Longwe did it. Maybe, they're hiding something and all that. I'd rather leave this matter to actually be handled by authorities, because really, for me to actually defend the people who were inside the house, and then the next thing, it came back to it, I wouldn't want to do that. I'd rather actually leave the law to take its course at this point in time. As
I let you go, you still hold the view about what you told me some time ago, and that is that you would be surprised if Kelly Khumalo and all of the other people that were in that house are not called to testify.
Look, I'm 100% sure they'll be called to testify. They're definitely going to, because one of the investigating officers, Mr. Gininda, actually called looking for Longwe. And then I told him that, no, he'll be available definitely if he needs to testify. I don't think... come again?
When did that call come through from Mr. Gininda?
I think it's about before Tumelo actually testified. He did call me and said he wanted to speak to Longwe because I think he's going to be called in. I'm actually expecting them to do that, Corey, because these guys have to speak. They have to tell the nation what happened there. It's not for me really to actually, because I've heard a lot of people making speculations, even political leaders, making statements. I heard Julius Malema saying that Kelly must be held accountable. She knows what happened. Yes, Kelly knows what happened. I mean, all South Africans knows what happened there. It's not for Julius or me or anyone else to actually say Kelly must be held accountable. We were not there. The people who were in the house knows what happened. They know who shot Senzo. So they must be the ones. They must be the ones who must tell us what happened, not people outside who were not inside the house.
Take us into your confidence. I genuinely am letting you go because this court case has now also started. Take us into your confidence. When you say Senzo Meyiwa's mother likely knows who the mastermind is, who do you think that person is?
I wouldn't say who the mastermind is at this point in time, but in my view, the mastermind is an outsider. Because I'll tell you why. If the mastermind was one of the people who were in the house, trust me, Cody, that person would be long arrested. Begikelo would have long arrested that person. If the mastermind was among the people who were in the house, I'm 100% sure that person would be arrested. They are taking their time to arrest the mastermind because I think they don't want public, maybe they don't want the public to actually start actually doubting their investigations and all that. But I think they know who the mastermind is. You can hear from Herinel, when he speaks. And Senzo's mom, trusts Herinel. And, I was with her. She even said it that, she trusts Herinel more than anyone. Now, Senzo's brother, Fiso, does not trust Herinel. He does not want to speak about Herinel. He believes that the people who were in the house are the ones who shot Senzo. Mm-hmm. Now, Senzo's mom, I think she's got a different view because, look, she's actually staying with Herinel. She listens to Herinel's advice more than her son. So, I don't know. What does that tell you?
Chicco Twala, always a pleasure talking to you, sir. Thank you very much for taking